Hello, you're listening to WJOP 96.3 FM, Joppa Radio. I'm Jessica, and I'm filling in for Drew's afternoon drive. So I'll be your radio host for the next half hour or so. I'm here with my friend, Devin. Do you want to say hi, Devin?
How's everyone doing today?
And then I actually met on social media, which is a very millennial thing of us to be able to say in a business setting. But so yeah, we met on Instagram, and now we work together also pretty much through Instagram. So we have an Instagram called Free Range Initiative, and I'll pretty much be talking to Devin just kind of about how he originally got started with his Instagram account. So originally, Devin, when I met you, it was Save Plum Island, and you reached out to me on my Eating to End Climate Change, and basically you told me you had an idea. We met here at NCM Hub, and it kind of just got going from there. So I guess I never really even asked you before, but like, what got you so interested in like cleaning the beach and reducing plastic? Is there anything that really spurred that?
Yeah, so I was working for the town. The harbor master gave me a job as a lifeguard. This was probably like, in college. So, when I wasn't keeping my eyes on the water, making sure everyone was safe, my eyes were fixated on the beach. And, when I was looking upon the beach, I saw a lot of plastics, a lot of bottles, a lot of trash, a lot of waste. After everyone was safe, of course, I took it upon myself to clean the beach. Like I said, the landscape was beautiful, and I needed to facilitate the cleaning of that beach to make it even, bring it back to the beauty that it was. So I started bringing trash bags out. After a little bit, I saw a promotion that was Instagram. I started using Instagram, started adding people from the community. People from the community started getting on board, started putting trash bags out for their use, and found that every day I came to the beach, there'd be like a trash bag full. Over time, the beach started getting cleaned up and everything else. So, not to pump myself up, but I took pride in the fact that after a little bit, the beach was getting clean, and started the real world, graduated college. One of my buddies put a little, note back into my head saying, dude, like, what happened to that? You were doing such a good job. Everyone in the community loved it. So I kind of shined back on that.
So that was in like 2016 you started that, right?
Yeah, that was 2016. And yeah, so
it started as Save Plum Island. We've moved on to seems to be bigger and better things.
Right. So
as much as everyone loves Save Plum Island, we're still with it.
Yeah, everyone's gonna look out for their own community island, stuff like that. You see like the places like the Four Ocean on the news all the time, and they're doing things at a large scale. But this world is huge. They can't hit everyone's little community. So I think like someone who's implanted within a community has to look out for their local beaches and local community.
Plastic pollution is crazy. Like, you hear a new stat every day about how like the fish we eat is like made up of like so much plastic. I heard yesterday that every month you consume a credit card worth of plastic.
Oh yeah.
Which is like crazy. And you hear these new things, like new just little blurbs that are just so massive in like what they mean every day.
Yeah.
So it's crazy. But yeah, it's definitely really important. So you just started cleaning up the beach, and you started, I think when I met you on the Instagram, I called it our Instagram, but it was really yours. Had like 600 followers almost, and now it's like twice that. So it's always growing, because I think that it's such like an important thing that everyone's really thinking about. How can you go about your day and really like not hear something like that? You know what I mean? Like we always come across these new different things, but.
Well, I took like another thing about it was I think when I got back, I started getting like I started putting like my face out there and started like giving them some like words to the words of wisdom per se, like starting to clean up. I went to like Scotland and even Ireland. The whole UK is like this, like they're fully like compostable, and they're banning plastics and stuff like that. Because if you really look at it, like what are plastics going toward? They're a one-time thing, and they don't contribute to the growth of anything after the consumption that they're used for. So
I mean, when you can make a straw out of hay and it can just crumble up into dust, why are we still making them out of petroleum-based plastic that doesn't ever go away?
Right. And I never heard anything about the credit cards in the fish that we're eating,
Right.
but
I know.
like the local fisheries too. That's something that we need to start getting behind and supporting too, because with overseas tariffs and everything else, like a local fishery system needs to be big for an economy.
Because I think that around, like, the U.S. has much greater regulations and stuff than a lot of places, like across the globe. Like, they have way more pollution in a lot of ways than we do in our ocean. So in that way, I'm sure our local seafood's a lot better than getting it imported. But I know, it's just crazy how much, like, plastic is in our water. I've heard that, like, even not just plastic, but, like, narcotics are in our water, and, like, it's just absurd. It's absurd.
Yeah. Well, like,
it's important to talk about.
Like I said, like, I don't have a footprint on the rest of the world right now. We really picked this thing up probably in the beginning of the summer, so this is like our third month at it, and like, a bunch of people are on board. We're getting a bunch of likes and stuff like that. It means people are like really into what we're doing, which is good. So like I said, the footprint is small. Like the fact that we're doing an effect on like the local community, and my arm reach is at least getting into the ears of some is what's important at this moment.
The other day, she actually tagged us today. Ashley tagged us for our contest, but she sent me a picture of a hay straw that she was using from Maine. Somewhere in Maine had a compostable cup and a hay straw. And I was like, damn. Oh, excuse me. But we were like ahead of the curve a little bit, but like still with it. So it's crazy. It's crazy. Times are changing for sure, but not fast enough.
Well, you know what I mean. This is essentially like this is a moment in time where, and it's always been a moment in time where like the younger generation is going to have the sway in the way the world's going to go. It's always been that way. So it's only a matter of time for people like us start speaking up and saying what we need for our future to sustain ourselves, and then people are going to start supporting that. So if we're saying plastic's a problem, if we're saying our beaches are getting polluted with this stuff, then it's only a matter of time before they take it upon themselves at a higher level to instill what we need. So
yeah, it's interesting. Definitely could use more people our age talking about this type of stuff on this like level. You know what I mean? Not to say that a lot of people aren't, but I think that what we've done is definitely taken initiative to like stir up the pot a little, to be like, hey, join us. Like, this is something everyone should be thinking about and talking about, because we've had two cleanups, which like ideally maybe we would have had three, but we've obviously, I mean, I have a job, I work here every day, and
that's the thing, like I like,
we're always busy.
I'm working now too,
and so is everyone.
But when you are working and stuff like that, like all your mind is in your own bubble. Like all you know is your work, your day to day, hanging out with the friends, whatever. But there's a whole nother world going on around like what you're seeing every day.
Yeah.
And there's a majority at large that needs to survive for the future. So that's it. Like unless I got word that, hey, you got a good thing going, get back on it. Like, dude, you're passionate about that. Like, passion sells, right? Passion sells. But
passion
you can't.
Sells?
Passion sells.
Is that what we
but
have?
you got to get passionate about something that matters.
Oh, passion sells. I thought you meant like cells, like.
Well, you can call that passion cells, yeah.
I guess I have passion in my cells. Anyway.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, that is definitely something that resonates with me, because I think that finding passion for something that is actually good for the planet, it doesn't necessarily fit into your everyday. You have to make it a decision to be like, oh, like, this is important to me. I care about animals, for example. How can I have any, like, impact on, like, that thing that's so much greater than me? And then you really just have to think about it, and then you find ways, and slowly you find ways to be either zero waste, or you donate to like causes and stuff like that. And it's just, I don't know if more people need to be thinking about it, or like
I said, everyone's got a job they got to do, and everyone's got to like do what they're doing, put food on the table. But there's like little things, and I think like we're kind of showing that they can
Small
go about
decisions.
their daily life and kind of like do a little something extra, or just substitute in what they've been doing to kind of make a difference.
I think that a big thing that people think about is that like it's not their job, it's the business's jobs, which is something that we, I think, together have really thought about, because it's true. Like I can decide not to use a plastic cup, and I am going to decide not to as often as possible.
Right.
But at the end of the day, so many people aren't going to make that decision, and it's up to businesses to stop. And not just businesses themselves, but distributors and corporations and huge, massive, businesses. So
like I said, everyone's got to put food on the table, and the approach has to come from the people of power to, you know what I mean? Like we said, we read an article, and I said the UK, they're done with plastics, they're all compostable. Canada said in the next like 2 years they're going away with plastic altogether. Right now, it's not, like I said, everyone's fixated on putting food on their family's table, and if they can provide for their family with what they have right now, plastic is in higher demand. They're producing it at a higher level. It's less expensive. It's only until that, us kids start speaking up and saying, all right, in order to like preserve this planet that we live in, we need to get away with this plastic stuff that's polluting our environment, that's clogging up our fishes, that we need to like feed ourselves. And then it's not until that they ban the stuff altogether that these businesses will actually make that move to clean up our environment.
Yeah, so it has like a social aspect where we need to put the pressure on the businesses, and then there's a business aspect, obviously, where they're producing high amounts of this pollution, and then there's a government aspect. So I'm interested to know where Newburyport's at with plastic and waste. I know that they're doing this. They did the pilot with the Black Earth, so they're doing the compost with food, and now that's no longer a pilot, and so they're pushing that. And then they're also going to be doing this thing where you only get one trash bag for free of trash, and then I think you can pay for every next trash bag of trash. You have to pay. So basically, your best bet is to divert all of your food waste to the Black Earth, and then recycle, so that you reduce your waste so much, which is a cool thing that they're doing. I don't know when they're implementing that, but
I know. I mean, I barely even have cable in my house, but
I know everyone's cutting cable. It's not good for us.
Well, it is what it is, but so like I say, like one thing I seen like in just the presidential like debates and stuff like that, like everyone's preaching like it's a real push for like we need like entrepreneurial spirit that can go approach like the climate issues and stuff like that. But it's like their backing and their like agenda should be about like implementing laws that can make a push for the entrepreneurial spirit to get involved. But in terms of like the compost system and stuff, like that's important. The city of Cambridge, they put in place like a composting system. I think they're providing like compost barrels and stuff like that for their residents, and I think they're sourcing out their compost to a major waste service company, and they're taking the compost and providing energy through the processing of it.
Yeah, I know that methane. That's so much wasted like organic energy that we're not utilizing in terms of compost, because methane is produced from cow excretion, which is huge for climate change, but we can actually harness it and turn it into energy. We can also do that with compost. But one thing you said about the entrepreneurial endeavors and how that should be like pushed, I read a really cool article. I'm really interested in sustainable food, obviously, which is how we met, because you were like, oh, you really care about this. I read a really cool article. I forget the name of it right now, but it was about Belo Horizonte, Brazil, and they have the most like successful sustainable food system, where they like are able to feed people who are living in poverty still fresh, affordable food. Super cool. They have a ton of government-funded restaurants where you pay like less than $1 and you get like meals and food. So it's really amazing. Philadelphia could use that. Where I go to school, for listeners. And in that article, they said that entrepreneurial endeavors are not enough, and that government intervention is like definitely needed for a sustainable food system. So for them to be saying, you said who did you say said that? Was it the city of Newburyport said that?
What was that?
You said that they needed more entrepreneurial endeavors to be pushing.
So like when I was watching the presidential debates, like we're talking
yeah.
like Biden's and I think the Democratic Party at the time probably.
It almost reminds me of like the eco-entrepreneurial, like, or eco-business. Have you heard of like eco-business where they just push like sustainable practices, but they're not really that sustainable?
Well, I mean, the political
like
figures, they have to
greenwashing.
push their own, they have to push their own agendas. It makes sense for, they want to see entrepreneurship. It's good for
Yeah,
the circulation of
business.
everything.
Right.
But like they have to, if they're gonna push their own agendas on us, they're gonna have to show some change on their ends. But
Yeah.
I guess that goes to if they can get into office and make a change for us to strengthen our economy for theirs, then it's a win-win. But yeah, at least they're talking the talk. Now it's just a matter of like walking the walk so we can walk their walk.
Yeah, definitely climate change is a big thing that voters are looking for. I think in the younger generation, I know climate change, a debate for climate change specifically is really being pushed. I don't know where we're at with that. I know that there was a deadline. It was pretty recent. I don't know, but that would be really cool if we could get a debate all about climate change, because it really does, even like pollution, climate change, it all relates, because whether we're polluting the air with greenhouse gases or we're polluting the ocean, killing algae that takes away greenhouse gas emissions, everything, like it all relates. Plus plastic is like fueled, huge industry fueled by the oil industries. And
I mean, we can come up with like facts for days about what the heck's going on, but like I said, like I was lifeguarding in Newburyport. Aesthetically, the beach looked like
local.
You know what I mean? Like a landfill, okay?
Yeah.
And then you have to clean it up. And then before that, I was working at the beaches and I was working at Cranes and Ipswich and stuff like that. Newburyport, Cranes, and Ipswich every single summer. I mean, Newburyport was ridiculous. They had the dunes at that point. Right now, if you go to Plum Island, it's a boardwalk. You could
crazy.
Jump off. You could walk the plank if you wanted to.
Seriously.
But like, I mean, over the summer and stuff like that.
How much beach did we lose? You told me one time.
So like, I was sitting on the beach like the whole summer. We had like about 300 yards of beachfront, a nice dune. The chair was planted right up on the dune. And then throughout the summer, the dune just kept shaving back. And I think I went the next summer, and then boom, no dune. Next summer, this summer, I believe, we're left with like just the boardwalk. Same thing happened at Cranes, erosion, dunes going every which way. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you step outside, you see the stuff. Like, I don't even need, like, you know what I mean? I see it firsthand. That's when I was like, oh my goodness. So.
Yeah, it's that firsthand thing that really changes you. I think that people need to be like, see that and be affected. And that's why climate change, it's so slow, so a lot of people don't care. But yeah, you said you went to UMass Lowell, so you went for business. True.
Yeah.
Did you like it?
Yeah, it was well, it is what it is. Like, you learn from anything you go through. So yeah, you sit and you see a business for sure. So
would you go back to school?
I feel like I can go and ask the questions that might lead to what I need to know. So
did you say you didn't, or you did?
Was that like school?
Or did you say you didn't ask the questions that?
Oh, well, I at that point, I think I was more interested in, like, you know what I mean, helping my parents out, busting their ass to see their kid go to school, getting them a degree.
True.
So I did that, and yeah, I did what I did, and it was a good learning experience.
So did you grow up locally?
Yeah.
So where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Groveland.
You went to Pentucket High School, right?
Yep.
Did you like it?
It was like I said, like,
shout out Pentucket.
Yeah. Like, I'm a free soul, so like, it is what it is. We got through, so.
Don't identify with it, but
okay.
It served you. It did. That's good. So you know a lot about recycling too. I remember you told me about, what was the city that was doing? It was New York. That guy who did like a ton, he like revolutionized.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Would you like to do that? You'd like to do something like that?
Yeah, it'd be nice. I think I was talking to my dad about this too. He said, like, back in the day, they used to like allocate like recycling and stuff like that.
Like sort it? Yeah,
and my cousin too. Like, I don't want to, like, you know, if you're working for them or you know this or whatever, but this is just what I hear. Like, my cousin, he worked for like a industrial like trash facility type of thing. They convert energy, so on and so forth. But long story short, like, he was telling me that like the trash and the recycling, they're both being processed in the same way, where they're just kind of getting burned for like energy and stuff like that. So when I was talking to my like dad and stuff like that, I brought that up, and he said like back in the day they used to like allocate recycling and stuff like that. We're talking like plastics, aluminums, so on and so forth. I remember as a kid, like what we used to do is we used to go down to the friggin' the 5-cent can deposit down in the market basket, and we used to get like a little bit of money off that. But the way they probably allocated it was for like a purpose like that. We can bring money like back into like the towns and everything else. Like the kid in New York, we saw the article on, he was doing the same stuff. He was collecting all the cans, and he was what do they call them? A redemption center. They set up like redemption centers. These redemption centers, there's some in like every city and stuff like that. These people sort the cans per like wholesaler, which the can was brought into the market. They sell them back to the wholesaler, and the wholesaler can sell them back to the manufacturer. We're talking like Anheuser-Busch if you're a beer drinker. We're talking Coca-Cola for the kids, and whatever else. They sell them back, and they get money. Like these people in cities, that's what they do.
So that's the recycling program sells it to the redemption centers, or this redemption centers sell it.
It goes both ways. Like it'd be like me as a kid going to Market Basket, get my 5 cents per can.
Can you still do that?
They can still do that, yeah.
Yeah, you can still get money for cans.
But I mean, 5 cents a can. Like we're all working all day. Like
but
what the
not
heck are we
adjusted
gonna
to
do?
inflation.
It's
Yeah,
like what are we gonna do?
exactly.
Walk out with $10?
I wonder if adjusted to inflation, if like each can would technically be like more worth like $1 or something.
What's
you know
that?
what I mean? Adjusted to inflation. So.
It'd probably be.
But they
it'd probably
kept it. It's still.
deflate.
Well, I mean, adjusted to inflation would probably be more money wise, but like value considering. Because think about how many cans exist too. I don't know. It's just it's a crazy world out there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. It's a good thing that the fact that these manufacturers will buy back their raw product and produce more with that. That's good for everybody. So I think we got to get into a system where we do that. We almost make it mandatory, and we can put people that we can employ, and then we can bring back money into the city with the money that we get from selling that product.
I know that the recycling industry is just very tedious. So like you have to wash everything, and everything in the facility's done by hand. So it's not very much of a moneymaker right now. But hopefully we're able to see that become better. I mean, but have you ever seen a video of like a recycling facility? There's huge machinery and stuff, but a lot of it's still like sorted by hand and stuff.
Well, that's the thing. There's not a lot of money in those like recycling centers. Like I said,
I'd like to see the redemption centers though.
The town has not implemented. No, I don't think any town has really implemented like right now like the sorting of this, because it's cheaper for them to source out a recycling company and a waste service company, and most of the time they're both related and they're from the same parent company. So it's cheaper for them to outsource that. But if you start talking about like allocation and stuff like that, it brings it away provide. And redemption centers right now, those people are making a living. They're making a living off of people bringing them their cans and everything else, and just sorting them and then selling them back to the wholesalers. These people are employing people, and these people in these cities are making a living off just doing that stuff. So
it's a lot of low income too, like jobs, right?
Oh, they're all pretty much low income jobs, but like God bless, like they make a way and they do what they have to do, and I don't know, and it would be better for everyone if we could implement something where we just take, have everyone in the community recognize what the heck's going on. Let's get aluminums out of our environment, out of our landfills, and bring them back so they can recycle into the manufacturing process. Once again, we consume a beverage. Keep doing this. Just keep doing this. Bring back money. I don't see a lose in the thing.
I know.
And it just takes maybe
just an initial investment.
One thought between throwing the can in the trash, throwing the can in the recycling, or now we have an aluminum.
Or even choosing not to use the can. And like, for example, fountain soda. That's a pretty sustainable way.
Then we have to start talking to Mr. Coca-Cola or Mr. Pepsi at the top, who,
Are they even using recycled material? It's all new? Like, are they just all manufacturing new?
Well, aluminum's recyclable,
but is it recycled? Like the
right,
can
so like what I heard from my cousin is, and then I don't know, what I'm just gathering from the street and anyone who you can talk to, but there's probably not a lot of money to be made after it's all processed and stuff like that, and these people aren't selling them back to the manufacturers. At least that's what I think, or at least that's what I kind of like seen and gathered. you know what I mean? It's cheaper for them to dispose of it the way that is better for their margins and stuff like that. They don't want to go through this process, but people are put in place right now that are making a living off doing this stuff. So it'd kind of be ignorant of us to not to like use them to our advantage, and you know what I mean? Help them prosper, help our environment prosper, and in the long run, we can get a return off just doing allocated recycling plan into the city.
But realistically, the best option is a compostable material. So using a compostable plastic cup. I wonder if they have anything that, I don't think they've come up with anything for cans yet that could be compostable. It's all like paper, PLA.
Like I said, that's going to take some real fighting to get to the top. And because, like I said, these people, if we're talking, compostables aren't being manufactured in like the same volume as a plastic and aluminum.
Yeah.
So it's going to be like right off the bat, way more expensive. There's less manufacturing facilities. The less product you make of something, the more expensive it's going to be. It's rarer. Something that's rare is more expensive.
So for people who don't know or understand what a compostable consumer material might be, do you want to give them like an example of like what a plastic cup would be made out of if it was to be made compostable?
Yeah, so it would just be they call it like PLA. It's a corn resin from like a cornstarch or potato starch.
It's like the fermented sugars, I'm pretty sure, right? It's like a high heat or something.
They got like, I don't know, like a corn or potato starch.
Mm-hmm. Sugar. It's
okay,
just
they
sugar.
Process it, whatever they do. And there's another one, it's like called bagasse, and that's from like the sugarcane plant. That's more of like a paper, but it's strictly from like the sugarcane plant. Because at the same time, like paper, we're cutting down trees and stuff like that. And I saw another thing, like the landfills are filling up with paper. We need trees and stuff like that. It filters out oxygen. I don't know. I guess paper is better than plastic, but paper needs to, like, you know what I mean, chill. And we need to like start like, I don't know, using like plants that we can regrow. So
even with toilet paper, I know that that's like tearing down the boreal forest, like the Canadian boreal forest or something. It's just crazy. It's crazy. Yeah. And I know that when you, it's like so people say that like deforestation, people say that like right now we have like the greenest planet we've had. Like there's the most trees ever because people are planting so many trees.
That's good though.
But it's bad because deforestation is still continuing so dramatically, and that releases so much CO2 and increases climate change even more. So, which is never what we like to hear. But
it might be more. It might be.
Climate change is an interesting thing, honestly.
It's probably easier to like plant like a product that can grow on a seasonal basis than a tree that kind of just takes like whatever. It's like me growing up. It's like, I don't know. I'd probably be like a little 25
Talking about if you were a tree.
Yeah. Or you know what I mean?
You'd be a decent sized tree, but if you were bamboo, you'd be
But if
like
I was sugarcane, I'd be growing like this every single season.
Yeah, you'd be to the max. Bamboo grows like 3 feet. No, not 3 feet. Like 3 meters in 24 hours. It's like, and it's actually technically grass, but it's like the most sustainable thing ever. You can make
keep coming back.
Cutlery. You can make everything. Straws, reusable things. You can make floors. You can make food. Like Asian dishes have bamboo stalk in them. It's crazy. Bamboo is a very underutilized plant in the U.S. They're using it in some other places though. But
yeah,
I don't know. It's just crazy. It's crazy, and a lot of people. So this is just a cool conversation that we're able to have, because a lot of people don't think this deeply into like, you know, the future of like sustainability. Obviously, there's a large crew who is, but I don't know. It'll be interesting, like, to see what the world looks like in even 20 years. You know.
You said it yourself, like I lived in Philly for a little bit. Like you go to Philly, like oh my goodness, like the poor place is like, you know what I mean, like that place, you know, that place needs some serious economic like uplifting, but like the trash is everywhere and stuff like that. It's
everywhere.
Like,
on trash day, my street just smells like trash. Like it's just crazy, and it's like I don't know if we're just filling up. Everyone's just producing so much trash.
Right. Well,
so if we had more compost, I should be composting though. I have a community garden right down my street. I like really don't compost my food, but think about how amazing my compost would be. The amount of banana peels and like everything, apple cores I use in a day is like through the roof. Celery stalk.
Well, essentially, like hopefully, like we can get on a program. I think allocated recycling would be the best, and then a program where I know right now we're doing something good, and we're outsourcing to like a compost what do you want to call them, business that like picks up the compost and stuff. But when we get to the stage where we're not charging our like residents and stuff like that to be a part of the process,
Right. It's $90 a year right now, I think.
it is what it is. Like even when you
Report.
put like figures into the equation, it kind of like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I said, everyone's just concerned, and I understand like 100% about like.
But like $90 in a year really isn't that bad if you think about it. It sounds like a lot because you're like, I don't need to
It's
pay
not,
it.
but then you talk about City of Cambridge
Or it's free,
partnering up
right?
with like a big commercial waste management system that, you know, takes this stuff and uses
Right.
it to produce energy. That's
Yeah,
to
I have a
their
feeling
benefit.
that waste will become more valuable in the future for sure. And that's something I've just been
Well,
thinking
when we're
about.
talking about compost waste, 100%. When
Right.
we're talking about waste, that's like recycled. That's a valuable thing.
Yeah, it's a
Every single thing
material.
in there to the town is now worth 5 cents. Okay, is now worth 5 cents. We give it to these people. It's now worth I'll just say it, like 8 cents to them. They're making 3 cents off of shuffling this trash and then selling it back to the manufacturers. These people are freaking. I tell you what, like they deserve every cent they're given because like that's amazing work. And so we can prosper off of helping them prosper. Like this stuff needs to happen. I don't know. There's stuff that needs to happen, but you know what I mean. Like real change needs to come from the top, or it just needs to come from a lot of capital.
Everywhere.
So here we go. Like
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely an untapped industry, I guess. For
It's
the
getting
future.
there.
Yeah.
can't be the only one thinking about it, but
No, of course not. Of course not. Definitely, sustainability is more of a buzzword nowadays, where people they're thinking about it and they're hearing about it, but we're just kind of sorting through like the best ways. What are the best ways that we can make this feasible for ourselves, for our economy? Like a green economy is what we talk about all the time. Is just how can businesses help to support our environment, support our community, support the people? How can the people help support businesses to support the environment? It just goes every way. It's like a whole big circle.
like I said, like they want environmental entrepreneurship. They have to be able to help us shake the market up and provide, you know what I mean, provide for our environment and provide for the people who are going to go out there and like really push for the environmental uplift and
Yeah.
whatnot. So.
Definitely, I know, and that's so it's a very interesting time to be young, to be alive, to be
It always has
a
been.
U.S. citizen.
hmm
I don't know. There was a time when people just like didn't care and it was fine, and people could just like no one got mad at like
Well, hey,
everything.
I'm sure when plastic came out, that was a
It was
revolutionary
crazy,
thing.
yeah.
Like, oh, like
It's
if you're not
awesome.
with plastic,
It's
like,
awesome.
what the heck are you
If you
doing?
think about it, it's like
look
the
at
most
plastic,
awesome
it's
thing.
amazing. I can,
Yeah.
dude, it's just like
The amount
you can
of
do
red
anything with
Solo cups
plastic,
that get
like, so-
produced, like I'm just thinking about that. Like it's a quintessential part of like college and like American life, but
It is what it is. We just got to keep adapting. Like it's just like a constant like.
I just love it.
It's like a trial and error. That's all this world is, trial and error. So we just got to keep adapting to that. I guess rather to the error, bring on the trial, adapt. I don't know, something like that.
Yeah.
But
I know, and there's some people that are just so stuck though, that aren't like really, they don't want change, and
well,
they
they're
don't
not new,
want-
so
They're not new.
they're not. No, everyone's got. There's always gonna be people that
Yeah,
stuck. Like I
it's
said,
true.
it's just like
You gotta lead
just
the
gotta keep
pack.
on moving on. Like
Yeah.
hell yeah, like
It's true.
I
Have a
said.
broader vision.
Passion sells. Passion doesn't come from it like nothing. So
Yeah,
if you have passion, you have something behind you. So.
it's true. It's very true. Yeah, and one person who stood out throughout our summer working together is Laura. Laura, who has Trash Ventures on Instagram.
Mhm.
She is always cleaning up the beach. I saw her the day we had the last beach cleanup in August. She was going over the Plum Island like bridge, picking up trash at like 11 in the morning, and then she was picking up trash all day, and then she came to our trash cleanup. And she got. I need to reach out to her. She
She's
also works for the
ground
watershed.
soldier, Laura.
Boots on the ground.
Boots on the ground. Always ready.
Seriously. Yeah, she's awesome. She has like a plogger. What is plogging? What's the term plogging? Do you
It's
know?
like I got a gift one time, maybe when I was like in 5th grade. Used to like reach for something in the cabinet, and it's like a little claw. So now people use that, and you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
freaking ground troops. All right, like you're not gonna give them a handgun to go into battle with. That's their rifle. They don't have to bend over. They just go plug it up and then
Quick
boom
and
in the
easy.
trash.
It's pretty cool. So yeah, she has this basically, she has this thing that just grabs trash. She doesn't need to bend over. She picks up a massive amount of trash in a day, and if anyone's listening, you should check out her Instagram. It's Trash Ventures, and she picks up quite a bit of trash around the local Newburyport area as well. She also works for the Newburyport Watershed Council, I believe, too. Don't you know some people, I think, with them, too, or something like that?
Some guy said, like, one time, like, the river was, I don't know. He also said, like, this guy reached out to us, said he worked for the Watershed Company, and because he was bringing up like the clean Plum Island post, which we have now at the Newbury side of Plum Island. Once you get out, fill a bucket up. I'm gonna put some more buckets out here. Someone was taking some buckets.
Yeah, how many buckets are left? Are they?
Well, they're about to be filled by the end of the day.
Oh, really?
By tonight.
Good.
But
so
like,
yeah, if you guys want to clean the beach or you want to clean the Plum Island area, you can go pick up a bucket. Free Range Initiative bucket, Clean Plum Island, and it's right at the Newbury parking lot, so right at the main entrance.
You'll see it.
You'll see it's blue and green.
Give us a tag on Instagram. Help us.
Yeah, you can find our Instagram
more
there.
people that see us, and more people know what we're doing.
Yeah, and the more people talk about it and think about it, that's what it's all about. Kind of invading people's minds and making them think a little bit more about sustainability.
But anyways, this guy was saying from the Watershed Act, and that's how I heard about it. Like you said, he was like a member. He said like I don't know, like I'm not too even aware of like where they're located, these like waste facility companies, but he said like a couple like waste facility companies. He said, hey, check out the beach. It's like real messy because they like dumped into the river and stuff like that and stuff like. So like, I'm not, you know what I mean? Like that's just like a problem right there. Like I'm like, oh boy. So
we had some kids who came out to our beach cleanup too, who they also tagged us in a picture like last month, and they were on kayaks and they cleaned up like a whole bunch of trashers in the river. So. That's another thing. Like when you're, when you're having these recreational activities and you're having a great day, like maybe just give back to the planet. Like pick up some plastic or something. That's what it's all about. People don't think about that though. So that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah, it takes it takes a
village.
Definitely takes a village, and it takes just like, you know what I'm saying, like when you're when you're doing what you do, you don't really think about it, but it's only until like, you see the repercussions of what's actually going on, and then you're like, oh boy, okay, like this stuff is for real, like, and then someone just got to say, you're either part of the movement or I guess you're against it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I had to be a part of it. So
definitely. I think that we should all maybe just think more about our choices. So one thing is like being zero waste. Have you ever heard of like people who are zero waste? They just don't produce waste. Like they don't buy anything they don't need. They buy everything in bulk. Produce without plastic on it. That's one thing that drives me crazy is if I buy a squash. Why is that squash wrapped in plastic? Plastic wrap is just probably very...
Yeah, you're talking to a kid who doesn't really know how to cook so well. So, like, I mean, I don't know, like anything...
You're more about the compostable plastics.
Right.
That's what it's all about for you. Yeah, so. I mean, there's so many facets. So I think we're going to take a break for now. We'll be back shortly. All right, so we're back. So, Devin, thanks for coming on. I know you probably have a very busy schedule, but yeah.
You can always make time for politics.
Always make time for green politics, specifically. But so yeah, if you guys enjoyed listening to what we've talked about so far, you can always find us on Instagram promoting eco-friendly minded. What do we talk about? We talk about picking up trash, but like what else? We talk about
just the general direction of, I think, where like we have to take this world, this economy, and our future for our generation, and hopefully to instill the motives of our generation to the older generation living upon us, and
we try to grab that broader perspective for everyone, bring us all in one spot all together. So yeah, Free Range Initiative, that's where we're at right now on Instagram. But I don't really know. Do you have anything else to say for the viewers, Devin? One last thing to close it out?
Well, I know Jess is going to Philly. She goes to school there. Like I said, I lived there for a little bit. I think like Philly needs some light. Jess is gonna show what's going on in like the Philly community in terms of like, I guess, the cleanup and the environmental impact that we believe this country should have. And I'm gonna continue to do the best I can up here. and Instagram. We got like Facebook, and then I got a website, and we're always working, and we're always revising and keeping it fresh, and
Yeah, so I head out to Philly. I fly out, or no, I'm not flying actually. It's keeping it eco-friendly and carpooling with my parents, and so we're going up Thursday morning. So I'll be there. I'm very plugged into the local food system, local everything. I've done some actually like civil. I go to workshops like all the time in my free time, which is like ridiculous. I volunteer. I don't know how I'm gonna even make it out in Philly. I'm gonna be so busy, but I'm definitely gonna keep an eye out, add to the account, and keep in touch with Devin. So thank you so much, Devin. It was awesome having you. Yeah, we'll do this again sometime.
100%.
Sounds good. Have a great day, everyone. All right, and surprise, we're back.
This is all good?
Finishing out the show. You're live, Jack.
Hey, that's what we need.
You're Jack Ohrn.
How we doing,
The
Jess?
one and only Jack Ohrn.
Oh, you know it.
You can
We out
follow
here.
him on OHXRN.
OHXRN, you know.
Got it right
You
on
know.
Instagram. He makes dope videos. So
I appreciate that, Jess.
yeah, Jack was supposed to make dope videos for us, but he got
we
his
tried our best.
wisdom teeth
The
out.
Wisdy teeth, we're not feeling
They're
it.
not there. How many teeth did you get out?
I got 4 teeth.
All at once? Didn't
Brutal.
Lexi? Didn't you get also them all at once?
We got the whole crew getting their teeth pulled out this week.
Alexandra was supposed to too. Is she still here? No. Well,
Yeah,
she
it's not a
said
good
bye.
time. Definitely seen better days
Not
than
good.
the wisdom teeth.
Yeah, but Jack, I'm going to talk to you about all the really cool videos that you make. And
Aw.
so you edit video and audio. We have about
Yes.
8 minutes. And so what is your main platform for that? Do you do it mainly for school, for fun? Where do you post them?
So usually I post my videos on Instagram. And that's like my main
platform?
My main platform.
Do you have a website?
I do. I have a website.
Do you post your videos there? Or
I
no?
do.
Okay.
Post all my videos, all my contacts, all my business information, payment, all stuff like that.
So you've been doing some freelance video this summer
I have.
for
I
people.
actually.
How's that been going?
It's been going great. Really
So
good.
what kind of videos have you made? Are you allowed
Pretty.
to disclose?
This is top secret
Yeah.
information. No, I've been doing a lot of freelance work for certain clients with commercials. So it's like a couple landscaping videos for certain houses and drone videos and stuff like that.
Landscaping, your
Yeah.
favorite.
Yep. Oh, I've been there. Let's not talk about that on the air, but that was an interesting time. I've done a lot of drone work for certain clients, so it's like if you need like aerial shots or something, I'm your man. I'm the guy for it. A lot of people ask for certain videos. They're like, oh yeah, I've been wanting a video about my house. We've been selling our house, so I want like a certain video for that.
True.
So I do a lot of
Good.
that with drone and all that. And then recently, I just finished up. I'm actually working as we speak, but it's a video for my friend James, whose father owns a company in Amesbury. It's called Newcastle Systems. Oh, yeah.
That's fine.
Okay.
Not your company.
All right, cool. So we're basically allowed to. I'm helping them with make a commercial for the like warehouse because they make certain products to work in the warehouse. So I'm helping make all that and kind of advertising that and stuff like that.
That's pretty cool. And you're 20? Are you 20 years old?
20 years old, just turned 20.
Doing the most.
Doing the most. Put in that work.
It's very cool.
Always.
I feel like people who hate drones have never seen drone footage because drone footage
Yeah,
is
drone-
so cool.
Don't sleep on drone footage.
It's so cool.
Drone footage is the best thing on the planet. And
Like,
drones, for all y'all watching this and listening, drone footage is the most fun thing to get.
It really is. I mean,
Drones are super fun.
I've used a drone once, but like just even looking at the footage is just like
Looking at that
absurd.
footy, you're like, wow,
That
that's
footage
crazy.
that I don't. Did you ever see it of Colin's drone?
Oh yeah, it's
yeah,
crazy.
of like
the ship.
Newburyport and the
Yep.
ship that came in.
It's
It
wild.
was so pretty.
It's
I could have
super cool.
watched that for a full
I know.
hour. It
It's
was
so
just
cool.
entertaining.
It's all super fun to watch.
Beautiful.
And it's fun
Especially,
flying those things.
Plum Island is beautiful.
Yes, yes, Plum
when
Island's
the
crazy.
Drones.
I've flown my drone over Plum Island a couple of times. It's
So
really fun.
pretty.
It's really cool.
So
Especially
pretty.
at sunset. It's a good
Yeah.
time.
Oh my god, the sunsets on Plum Island are insane. I live there and you can just walk down the street and it's just above you.
Yeah,
like,
it's insane.
Beautiful.
It's so crazy.
So
Sunsets on
pretty.
Plum Island cannot be beat on these.
Gorgeous. They're
Super,
gorgeous.
super cool.
Good time for picnics. I don't know if you've ever done a wine night. That's not legal. So, oh, you're 20 anyway, so you're not doing that. But
I
pizza,
have never done that.
pizza at the beach.
Pizza
during
at the beach
sunset,
is a great
It's
time.
beautiful. It's
a great,
just
great
the
time.
most ideal situation, some vegan pizza. That's what you want. But
Chilling on the beach
Eating some
with some
vegan
sodas and everything. It's a good time.
exactly, sodas.
Sodas, strictly.
Some compostable plastic.
Yes,
soda
yes. With the Save Plum
containers.
Island water bottle.
Save Plum Island.
Yep.
Exactly.
Exactly. Even before I knew about it, I was still rapping.
Yeah, obviously.
You know.
But so,
You know.
what are you working on here at the Hub? Any projects? Any
Here-
exciting projects?
Here at the Hub, I was eating chips out there just a couple
getting
minutes
a
ago.
lot done.
Yeah, getting some food action.
Getting some
in.
footy.
Yeah, getting
footy
some
with the
food,
chips.
some foodie, and
Feed.
some foodie and some footy and all that.
Some slang.
And, yes, I was also working on this super lit project they were just working on, which
Super lit.
was, I'm like blanking. Oh yeah, it was this tutorial that we did yesterday.
Right.
and
That's a
we're
really
making that
important project.
It's a
We're
very
making
important-
it happen for Sarah.
happen. We're making big moves.
Yeah,
So,
because
it's
we
gonna
do
be
it
good.
all for Sarah. Let's be
All for
honest.
Sarah.
It's all
Shout
for
out Sarah.
She's just the best.
Shout out Sarah.
There's just no beating Sarah.
She is the best.
I wish they were listening to us right now so they could.
Shout out Sarah.
Great shout outs. But
Big shout out.
shout out
out.
Roz.
Shout out the whole crew. Shout out NCM Hub.
But yeah, so that's an important video.
Always.
You're also making a promo, so that'll be cool.
The promo is gonna be great.
So
It'll be
when
out
do you go
soon.
back to school?
I go back and forth. Oh my! I can't even count today. I'm going back on Friday.
Friday?
Yes.
Oh, I leave Thursday, so similar days.
It's a sad week.
Similar days.
It's a sad week for NCM Hub.
Sad hours. Big sad
Big,
hours, as Jack would
huge,
say.
huge sad hours. Massive
But
sad hours.
also happy because school is exciting.
Oh, my
You're going
goodness.
into your sophomore year.
Sophomore year.
Sophomore year was my
The
favorite
send
year.
year.
It really is.
Good
It's
year.
the send year.
It's the send
Yeah,
year.
you
It's
just
the
send
year it all goes down.
It is. You meet all your like lifetime friends. I swear.
Exactly. I've
I
already met
swear.
a lot of them at Ithaca, so it's gonna be a good time.
Definitely. So Ithaca, do you like going to Ithaca?
Shout out Ithaca College.
IC, as you call it.
ICE. Oh. Whoa. Whoa, chill.
Don't hit your face.
Ithaca, yeah, I don't want to smack my eyes into that. Ithaca, whoa. Ithaca is great. It's a really good college. I'm sorry.
How
I'm
many
really tired.
people go to Ithaca?
8,000 undergrad.
Okay, so that's small,
8,500.
relatively
Yeah,
small.
so it's pretty small, but it's good size. You know, it's not too small.
Does it feel small?
No, it doesn't feel small at all. It's like it's the perfect size because like you meet new people every day, but it's small enough where you have a pretty big following. Yeah, I guess if that's what you want to call it.
Just,
It's
like,
like you know,
reach.
yeah, it's like you know people around, which is great.
Cool. Do you like
never
your
feel
classes?
overwhelmed. We've
Yeah.
seen better, we've seen worse, so that's
Teachers
always
or the
good.
professors?
Teachers are great. Yeah, all the
Good.
professors are awesome.
I feel like that makes a class a lot of times. is
Yeah,
like a good
and everyone in
professor.
the class is great, so it works out awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a good time.
And you're going
Splendid.
for film production?
Going for film,
Nice.
getting the Joan.
Is that like
footy.
your major title? Is like film?
Yeah. Well, I want to be a music vid director, so it's like I'm taking it's called photo and cinema BS major. That's what it's called, and I'm taking the cinema route, which is there's like two
So
different
it's a
categories.
Bachelor of Science?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's gonna be neat. It's
Yeah,
gonna be
you're
really fun.
lucky. You're very lucky that you have that BS title.
BS. Yeah, I know it's great.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's gonna be a good
Alright,
time.
So, well, thanks for coming on and closing out the show.
I got you, Jess.
Great. Best of luck to you.
Great interview.
Yeah, best
Thank
of
you.
luck to you at college, your sophomore year. Jack Ohrn, send him off. So thanks, guys.
Peace out. Much love.